Welcome to another week of A Friendly Nudge. So this week we're going to do grilled veggies with a white balsamic mayo dressing or dip, whatever you want to call it. And I'm just using the chosen avocado mayo. I think Primal Kitchens also has a good mayo. I just steer away from anything that has soybean oil or vegetable oil, any of that stuff. If it's, I either want avocado oil or olive oil or a combination of both. So I'm just using bell pepper, mushrooms, yellow squash, and zucchini. Eggplant would go great with this. So would asparagus. Just kind of whatever you have. So the dressing is just super simple. I'm just putting a reasonable amount. I don't know how much this is. This is probably close to a cup of mayo in there. And then I'm adding just an absolute bare touch of maple syrup. I mean, just probably way less than a half a teaspoon. And then I'm going to add several shakes of the white balsamic. The reason I'm using white balsamic is so that it doesn't turn it that kind of funky brown. And then I'm using an immersion blender just to get it all mixed up. You could use a spoon or a fork. This just makes it easy, and I make sure that I get it completely blended. And that's going to be it as far as getting the dressing ready. And of course, I got to do the taste test. And that was kind of what I was looking for. And as far as chopping the vegetables, this is something that you don't have to get too obsessive about. I cut the vegetables in half so that I've got a flat surface to lay down on the cutting board. And then I'm just going to cut these things in half. So I'm basically quartering the zucchini. And, you've got to make sure on that first cut that the thing doesn't roll. And then with squash, since these are a little bit larger, it'll be, instead of just quartering it, I'm going to cut each one of the halves into thirds. So I've done it before. I've cut them real thin. This is one of those things that's like, you don't really need to overthink it. We're just going to put them on the grill, get some color, get them cooked, and we're going to be good. And as far as cutting the bell pepper, it's like when you do it like that and lay it down, you can just cut all the seeds and core out at once. And then because I'm going to just lay these on the grill itself and not put them in any kind of a grill pan, you don't want to let the pieces get too small or they'll fall through the grill grates. So, I had to remind myself that first piece, I was like, yeah, maybe that's a little bit small. So a couple of those little pieces had to get eaten before they got on the grill, which I love bell peppers, so it's not a problem. And then with the mushrooms, if they've got any kind of dirt on them, I wipe that off. You can wash them. I've seen different opinions on it. My preference is just use a paper towel or one of my ever-present blue towels to wipe the dirt off. And then I'm just cutting them in half. And I never thought about grilling mushrooms until probably the last year or so, and I love the flavor that it gives them. I'm just hitting those with some avocado oil and then some salt, and then kind of stir them around to make sure that I get the oil and the salt on the stuff. And then, once we get, the grill is really hot, and just gonna get all this stuff kind of spaced out on the grill. I grill a lot in the summer, and it's hot as hell, but it's a great way to cook a lot of food at once. If it's a covered patio, we've got a ceiling fan, so even though it's 90 something degrees, it's not that bad. I think summers in Texas are kind of like the people that live where it gets really cold in the winter. I think a lot of it is just you've got to have the right mindset, which is, okay, it's uncomfortable, but it's survivable. So just pulling these off, I could kind of tell by the way that they sort of moved around when you hit them with the tongs, it's like, okay, they're done. And this is the sort of stuff you just kind of figure out over time. And this stuff is absolutely delicious. So have a wonderful week and play with your food.